to you by SportsInteraction.com, the sports betting site that will match up to $200 of your first deposit if you use our special Doghouse listener code. SportsInteraction.com/Browns. SportsInteraction.com/Browns. Sign up using that, and again, they will match up to $200 of your first deposit. You put down 20, you get 40 in your account. 100, you get 200, and so on. So, Matt, all right, let's get to the grades here, and I assume it will be more on the failing side, but let's start. Let's begin with the offense, okay? And you know what? Why not start at the bottom? The wide receiver core. What's your grade for the wide receiver core, man? Come on.
I gotta flunk those guys.
Outside
of Travis Benjamin, there has been zero impact from the wide receiver position.
No.
And when you're spending $9 million on a free agent, you better get one hell of a return on that investment. And up until the Cincinnati game, they hadn't gotten any return, and then all of a sudden, he catches 3 passes for less than 50 yards, and all of a sudden he's the leading receiver for the team. And that he is Dwayne Bowe. Definitely an F. Travis Benjamin, the only bright spot. And yeah, he's heading into a contract year, so you might not even have him next year.
No, because Travis Benjamin is so interesting because if he's
right
looking,
player, right price, remember?
Well, yeah, right. But if you're looking at a player like Travis Benjamin who has had a career year, has had a serious injury, do you want to pay him number one money because that's what he's going to be looking for? And I would think, at least under this current regime, the answer is probably no, which means that you're down another guy if they keep the staff in place that refuses to draft wide receivers. So that's something we can keep an eye on, I guess, in the future. But so Matt gives an F to the wide receivers. I'm going to give a D-, and the only reason it's not an F is because of Travis Benjamin. However, he's got to start picking it up, and the quarterbacks have to start getting him the ball because the last couple of games he's done next to nothing. All right. Running backs, Matt.
You don't have to ask this one. This is an F.
Is there anything below an F?
I mean,
yeah.
Nobody's even gotten 75 yards rushing.
Wow.
In a single game. You can't say that it's anything above an F. It's pathetic. It's beyond pathetic. And the only reason it wouldn't be an F is because they help in the passing game. And they help a ton, but they don't get the ball enough to make an impact consistently. Duke Johnson catches a 50-yard pass, and then he'll touch the ball once on a screen play, and that'll be it for the rest of the day. And it's kind of like, the hell are you doing? Call better plays, get more effectiveness out of your running backs, and they don't do it. So I have to give – you know what? I'll change the F. I'll change the F to a D- and say, hey, in the passing game they've been kicking butt, but in the running game, which are really what they're here to do, they can't do it.
Right, and you bring up a good point because part of it lies on the running backs. The other part of it is play calling. Like, how can Duke Johnson contribute if you don't get him the ball, right? Like, that's not on Duke Johnson. That's
right.
That's on the play calling. I'm going to say F for the running backs because, as you said, no, not a 75-yard runner. Duke Johnson has almost swung out to more of a wide receiver tweener type, and again, he just hasn't contributed consistently. No fault of his own for the most part. Isaiah Crowell, inconsistent. Terrence West to start the year, yuck. Turban gone. So a big old F. Now, quarterback. Josh McCown, the majority of the starts. Johnny Football. As a couple spot starts and some relief due to injury to McCown. So as a group, as a unit, Matt, what's your quarterback grade?
I didn't think I would say this going into the season, but I give these guys a B. They have really impressed me in terms of what they've been able to do with next to nothing in support around them from line play, from skill position play. I give these guys a B. McCown has proven to me that he is a far better quarterback than I gave him credit for. Manziel has done some good things in the passing game in the 11 quarters that he's played. I would give them a B only because they've far exceeded my expectations. Unfortunately, their play still does not result in wins because there's not enough around them to get the job done.
Yeah, I'd say the improvement of Johnny And love him or hate him, you have to admit there has been some progression there. And yeah, Josh McCown, for the most part, just a revelation. Tough, and yeah, man, he's got to start thinking about quality of life, those hits he's taking. But I'll agree with you there, Matt. I'll say a B, considering they have 0 to work with. Imagine if Josh Gordon was on this team. Just imagine if Josh Gordon was on this team and you're actually able to commit to some sort of a running game. Like this team could actually be in the conversation for maybe not hanging with the Bengals, but at least fighting for second place. So, okay.
The scary thing is you really can't, rely on Josh Gordon in the future. But if you put him on this team now, I think everybody's numbers will jump.
Oh, sure.
It's just a matter of whether you can keep him on the field for 16 straight games and keep him interested and focused. Because when he's focused, he's scary. It's scary how good he can be.
Well, he's kept
got
clean.
Hall of Fame talent.
Kept clean so far since his break. Post videos once in a while working out. So I guess you never know. But all right. So quarterback, couple of Bs. The offensive line, Matt.
I'm gonna go with a D-. They have done nothing but get quarterbacks destroyed, and they have done nothing but open up non-existent holes for running backs. And those are the two things that the running backs or the offensive line are charged with doing, and they clearly have not done their job. And They deserve every bad grade that they get. And to hear that, it's not that bad, we keep filling up the grade sheets with positives, that's a bunch of you-know-what, and there's no positives that come from this offensive line as a whole this year. Mac has not played healthy. I don't think it's any secret that it's taken him a lot longer to recover from that broken leg than people think. I don't think Joe Thomas is playing up to his capabilities. He's at least jumping off sides once a game, and that could be attributed to the fact that they've gotten different quarterbacks with different cadences in there. Joel Bitonio looks overmatched in the second year. And then the right side of the offensive line is actually what we thought was the weakest point. It has actually turned out to be relatively decent in the fact that Mitchell Schwartz is the highest-rated right tackle, and it comes in a free agent year, so we're likely going to have to replace him too.
Him and a center. I'm with you. Like the penalties to Mack and Thomas, unacceptable. Bitonio seemed to have lost his mean streak. Like he was a down and dirty dude last year, and he just seems to have softened up a little bit. So that's disappointing. But yeah, Greco and Schwartz on the other side. So you give him a D-. I'm going to give him a D. For the running game, horrendous. For the passing game, they have been getting the quarterback's clock, but at the same point, the production has been good enough so that McCown has been able to put up some historic numbers as well. So I'm going to go D. That's the offense. On to the defense. Let's flip the line and the defensive line. Oh, my, Matt. The defensive line, can you go anything but an F here?
The images of the defensive line that I will most remember from the first half of the season are Randy Starks standing over a running back and taunting him while the Bengals were still winning the game, and the offsides penalty that Randy Starks had on a fourth down that would have ended the drive and given the ball back to the Browns, despite what Mike Pettin says of it being a third down play. Those are the two images I have, and those two images are, if there's anything less than an F, I'll give them a G.
A G.
They're awful. They're hard. Other than Desmond Bryant, there's really no pocket collapser on the D-line.
And he has to play.
Every pressure they get is from outside linebacker, and that's not a whole lot. So I really don't think the addition of Danny Shelton helped all that much, especially when I just recently posted a story about Danny saying that he never knew he had to play with low pad level and that he's always gotten by on talent and being bigger than everybody else.
Oh,
well, this is the NFL, sunshine. You ain't bigger than everybody else now.
No.
You're going to be smaller than some of the guys you're going up against, so you better learn to play with technique. And the fact that it took him 8 weeks of his rookie season to figure it out doesn't give me a whole lot of confidence in that academic All-American. He may be book smart, but if something's been on my grade sheet since high school, as he admitted that playing with low pad level has, and he still hasn't done it yet, I don't have a lot of confidence that he can get it done at this level, because this is the wrong level to try and learn how to play the sport. You got to know what you're doing.
Another poor read on the draft process for Ray Farmer. Hey, Ray, maybe go out to the workouts, to the schools, to see these guys live, to the pro days. Might want to try that out. Might be a good idea. I'm going to give him an F to the defensive line. You said Desmond Bryant is the only true pocket collapser if he is available, which he is rarely in his time as a Cleveland Brown. He can be dominant, but he is just not available enough. On to the linebackers. All right. And you know what? For the linebackers, Matt, I'm going to say a D-. The reason they don't get an F is because I thought that the inside linebackers at times coverage-wise with Dansby and when Robertson's out there and Kirksey, I thought they have played decently. Of course, the run game is atrocious, but as far as defending the pass on the outside, there's no pass rush. I don't blame Paul Kruger. He wants to get after the quarterback. The call does not let him get after the quarterback, the play calling and the scheme. So I don't blame Kruger, but overall, I'll give the linebackers a D-. What say you?
I'd agree with that. D- is pretty good because I would give them credit for the fact that Armonte Bryant has been far better as a linebacker than I thought he was going to be.
Yeah.
Because they're keeping him in a role that he's able to do. But when you're putting Paul Kruger in a role that he's not, you weaken the entire core of linebackers, and that's exactly what we've seen. You really you struggle to give them anything higher than a D because they haven't performed when they've been on the field, and they still cannot find a way to limit big plays. Even if it is a running back catching a screen, they still can't find a way to limit it.
No, they really can't. Okay, on to the
And they can't make a play to get off the field on third down
No.
either. 13 of 16 from the Arizona Cardinals is absolutely unacceptable and blasphemous. Should never happen.
There's nothing to say. Like, there's no confidence from a Browns fan, no matter what the third down situation is when our defense is out there to say, well, they're going to keep moving the chains. Speaking of which, the secondary, littered with injuries, concussions, sloppy training camps that have translated into poor performances. Your Pro Bowlers suck so far this season. Joe Hayden, maybe injured, maybe whatever, having a terrible season. He's still out in concussion protocol. Dante Whitner, average at best. Tayshaun Gibson, non-existent. I think, Matt, the only bright spot on the secondary has been the development of Pierre Desir, Ibrahim Campbell, and some of the lesser-known guys like Poyer who have actually stepped up and played okay in spot duty.
Yeah, you're 100% right. The starting unit hasn't done it. I was going to give them an incomplete because of all the injuries that they've had, but when they have been on the field healthy, it hasn't been good. I don't know that they've been 100% healthy in the secondary since Tayshaun Gibson reported to training camp with the hamstring injury. I just don't see this unit playing up to their standards, up to anybody's standards, and thus you have to grade them poorly. Looking at the grade sheet, it's not pleasant.
No. So that's done with the defense. Now, special teams. And I think this is a spot where you have to probably look positively on. You have Travis Coons, rookie kicker, has not missed a field goal, and I think just one extra point. Andy Lee, Pro Bowl punter, as advertised, has been great. And Travis Benjamin has seemed at times to be completely rejuvenated in the punt game.
I'd give these guys an A. From what I came in with the expectations of and what they've done, other than the last game against the Bengals where Lee was a little bit off, this team has been rock solid in special teams. Travis Coons, you have all the confidence in the world that he's a rookie kicker that's going to get you the job done. Andy Lee is going to flip the field, and then Travis Benjamin has a chance to break a game open any time that they give him the football. So I give them an A. I think they've done a really, really good job this year. And if they can find a way to get more out of their kick return game, then they'd be even better. Yeah,
so you give him an A. I'm going to go B+. Kick return and using Justin Gilbert in that capacity, we've seen he's not the best decision maker, and almost to have him back there in a part of the game that rarely has any impact except if it's negative, if you bring the ball out and get stuffed up at your own 7 or fumble the ball like we've seen in recent weeks. Just really a non-factor. But Travis Benjamin looked good. The punting, the kicking, all good. So I'm going to go B+ there. The final grade, Matt. The final grade, the coaching staff as a whole. Let's stick with OC, DC, and head coach. Just all jumbled together. What's the grade?
F.
Yeah.
They show an inability to have their players motivated for a full 60-minute game. They've shown an inability to make in-game adjustments. And you look at the last two games, they were leading